So, question of the day. Can you have too many card controls? If you answered no to this question, then you are absolutely correct. In all seriousness, I love card controls, and if you're a card magician and you love card magic and are obsessed with card magic like I am, then you probably love card controls too, and you can absolutely never have too many of them. So in today's video, I thought I'd teach you a few different variations of one of my favorite card controls called the dribble toss control. Now, I've taught this before on my channel, but in one of my last videos, I just did it without teaching it, and a few of you were asking me if I could do a tutorial on it, so yeah. So the original handling of the dribble toss control is by Steve Bedwell, but like I said in this video, I'll be teaching you a different variation, well, two different variations on it, two of my own variations, and also one by Simon Aronson, which is a double card control. Okay, so it's pretty sweet, so stick around. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so the OG dribble toss control looks like this. So what you do is you have somebody say stop as you dribble cards. Now once they do, you show them the card they stopped on like this. In this case, the 9 of hearts. You toss it back in like this. It gets lost buried in the middle of the deck, but of course we know it's right there on top of the deck. So how does this happen? Well, it's really the age-old move called the rub-a-dub vanish, where you take a card like this and you just cause it to vanish like this, but really it's just on top of the deck, right? So all that move is, if you don't know it already, I'll quickly run through it. You show a card and pretend like you put it under your hand like this. Well, the first time you do it, for real, like a feint, right? But the second time you do it, it looks the same, however, this time it's gone, and all that's happening here is you pretend to put it under your hand like this, but really just push that card right back square on top of the deck. So without my hand cover, you're just doing this. Alright, that's all it is. You push a card over and push it right back. But under cover of your hand, of course, it looks like the card has just vanished, right? So in full speed mode, you're like this, boom, and it's gone. Alright, so to apply this technique to a dribble toss control, it's the same thing. Instead, you use just the dribble as the cover instead of your hand, right? So what happens is that you dribble and they say stop like this. Show them the card like this. Now the same thing applies here as under your hand, where you just push it right back. It's going to look like you just toss this card right into the dribble, but really we know that during the dribble you just dip into it like this and push that card right back, but dipping in and out real quick makes it look like the card goes in. So let me do this for you in slow motion first. So you show them the card, ace of spades in this case. This is slow motion. Don't do it this slow. I'm just showing you this. So you do this, come in here, dip down, and then just do that. Now after you do that, what you do is you take the cards back into your other hand and biddle grip, and then dribble the rest on top. Now, to make this look as good as possible, what you want to start doing is doing it for real and get used to what this action feels like in your hands, okay? So just when you do it, when you first start practicing, just do it for real. Actually toss the card in there like this so you can get used to how your natural body movements are to accomplish the secret action, right? So just like we always talk about in card magic, the secret action has to look identical, as close as possible at least, to the secret action, right? So I'm sorry, their real action, or the secret action has to look as close as possible to their real action, right? So act like when you do the secret action, act like you're really doing it. Right, the card goes in. It really looks like it goes in. It's an incredible illusion, but it's right there on top. All right, so that's the OG handling. So to make it really look like the card goes in, we can do a couple of different embellishments and switches for the move, but you don't need them. It's just fun to play around with, depending on your situation, or if they want to see it in slow motion again or whatever. So if you just keep doing this, eventually somebody's gonna pick up on something weird going on, right? So if they want to see this thing again, it's maybe best not to keep doing it over and over again for the same person. So a solution for that is switching the card, and this is how that's done. So this time they'll say stop, and we show them the card like this, in this case the ace of spades. Now you can see it actually go in this time. It really goes in right there, but really it's still on top. All right, so what's happening here? Very, very simple. This is an old move called the thumb off switch by Bruce Servan. Okay, very underrated and I don't know, not used enough in card magic in my opinion, but it's a wonderful switch. And this is how it goes. So you dribble the cards like this, and this time instead of doing this, going like that, what you're going to do instead is push over the card and side jog it on the bottom of this upper packet here like this and show it to them this way. Okay, the switch takes place as you move away to dribble the cards. Okay, so and of course it's switched. That was slow motion like this. So you're here, show them the card like this, point to it, and this is a good motivation to switch the card anyway, because you have to dribble these cards, get it out of the way to dribble. So what happens here is going to look like you do this, but really you take both cards, in this case the 6 of spades down there, this is exposed view, align it on top of the deck here, that selection like this with your thumb, clamp it down with your thumb like this, as you with your fingers take also the 6 of spades with it, and that's going to look like you simply thumb it off, hence the name thumb off switch. All right, so in fast pace you're like this, they say stop, oops sorry, they say stop like this, show them the card like this, boom, 3 of diamonds. As you do this, they really see a card go in there which they think is their card, which is a beautiful thing, right? So boom, you're like this. So if you want to repeat this maybe 3 or 4 times, this is a perfect solution to have. On the other hand, if you want the card to be on the bottom of the deck, I got you covered. All right, so to do this, it kind of looks the same, but it's a little bit different because it's a different technique. So this is what it looks like. So they say stop on a card, in this case the Jack of Hearts, and really they see it go in like this, and you square it up like this. Of course, we've controlled the card to the bottom of the deck in this case. So how's this happening? Well, this is a move called the reverse glide by Harvey Rosenthal. Okay, so what you're gonna do is show them the card like this, the one here on the bottom. Okay, so in the other cases we showed them the top card of the lower packet, but in this case you're going to show them the bottom card of the upper packet like this, and it's going to look like you simply just drag that card off like this, but what actually happens is almost like a glide. It's called a reverse glide for a reason. You don't do this, you don't actually do a glide, you show them the card, and as you're looking at it, you simply get a break, a pinky break below the top card of this lower packet here by just pushing it over like this. And a good tip on getting a break on a pinky break on the top card is called Backbreaker by Di Vernon, and this is what that looks like. So instead of just doing it in the open like this, which you could, I mean, there's enough misdirection, right? But sometimes you don't want that to be seen. So here's a nice solution for that. So when you look at the card, all you're going to do here is simply necktie, I'll move this out of the way, so you necktie this part of the deck and take your thumb and reach it almost by your pinky here, like this, right on the corner, so it's almost touching your pinky, or as close as you can get to it. I have long fingers, but you do this, and as you're talking, blah blah blah, I've got my break. All right, so all you do here is you necktie it, of course, move that thumb back, and just slightly, very so slightly, move that card. Okay, so let me get in focus here. Very so slightly. It doesn't take much. You just angle it like this, and there's hardly any movement by doing it this way. So normally you just be like this, which is you could, but why not make everything hidden, right? Because that's the goal in card magic. You want everything to be completely invisible, like nothing is happening. So a good solution for that is the Backbreaker move by Di Vernon. So once again, necktie, and this is you want to be in this position when you're doing this move, and I've just done it. Boom. Okay, so once again, corner of the deck, slightly, it gets angled right there. Boom, and you're done. All right, so that's a lot better than doing this. Okay, so moving on, you dribble, you show them the card like this, do your Backbreaker move. Now, you want to set the deck on top of this part of the deck here, like this upper portion on the bottom portion, adding that card above the break to the face of this portion here, and then immediately doing this, making it look like you drag that card off, but it just stays behind. So all you do is add this card on and take it right back off. That's all you're doing here. So it's an addition boom, making it look like you take that card, right? So it's a beautiful move, reverse glide. Okay, so it goes on bottom like this, guys. So they say stop, they see their card, boom, jack of spades, I've got my break. You just do that move I just taught you. They think that's the jack here, dribble, they see it go in. Of course, we know it's down there on the bottom, so you can be real fair about this. They square it up and boom, it's on the bottom of the deck. All right, so now I'll show you the two-card control handling of the dribble toss control by Simon Aronson. Okay, so what you're going to do here is do it twice, obviously, for two people. And so the first card we get is the six of spades. So we do the OG dribble toss control. Whoops, that was not quite in. It goes right there. And that's a nice touch, though, right? If a card gets loose, well, I'm sorry, I didn't quite go in all the way. Boom. And you put like an X card in there. Brilliant, right? So, of course, we know it's on top. We'll leave it face up. So now you do it again for another person. And say same thing. You just say stop. And they see their card, which is the four of spades in this case. And you do it again. And now, instead of dribbling these back on top like we've talked about, you just keep these here, and I'll leave this face up too. We know both cards are on top of both packets already, so what you're going to do is square both packets up and do a tabled riffle shuffle. This is Simon's original handling, but just hold back the top cards of both packets. So now both cards have been controlled at the top of the deck. So it's pretty brilliant. But you know, most of the time when you're out in the wild performing, you don't have the luxury of a close-up pad to do a smooth and seamless tabled riffle shuffle, right? So instead of doing that, here's what you can do instead. All right, guys, so instead of doing the tabled riffle shuffle for the two-card control, what you're going to do instead is what's called a Rosetta shuffle by Leonard Green, okay? And what that is doing just a, one-size-fits-all shuffle. Okay, so what that is you have both packets, and like a velociraptor, you're gonna like make a claws like this and apply pressure down on both packets and sort of like twist them like this, so both packets are in sort of these Rosetta shapes, and you simply just mush them in together like this, and this accomplishes the same thing as a riffle shuffle. And the cool thing about doing a Rosetta shuffle is you can have somebody do it themselves. Like you can have a spectator do it, and so they feel like they shuffle the deck, and while you can maintain top cards on top of the deck if you want to. But that's beside that point. That's just a tangent. All right, but for this shuffle, for this two-card control with the Rosetta, this is what that's going to look like. So once again, you have two cards selected with the OG tosses. Boom, eight of clubs goes in like this, like we talked about. So the first one is normal. The second one, you keep both packets separate. So in this case, we have the jack of clubs. Boom. Once again, instead of dribbling on top, you can maybe dribble them over here and then do this. I'll leave both cards face up. Now what you're going to do is that Rosetta thing, right? And when you see both cards like this, like in the same position, what you're going to do is sort of lift them both up like this and do the insertion like this, but just hold back both top cards like this, so no cards go in between them as you're doing this. All right, so both cards just end up on top after and it's so much easier than doing the tabled riffle shuffle anyway. It looks sloppy. Even if you get hung up on cards, it's not going to look weird because it's sloppy anyway. So doing it face down, eight of clubs, jack of clubs, it just simply looks like this, like you're doing what you're saying you're doing, like this. Okay, so try it out, and so it's a lot of fun to do, and it's so fooling, am I right? So play around with all these controls, see which one you like the best, and do whichever one fits your handling style the most. And yeah, until next time, guys, happy practicing. I love you guys.